Welcome to this explainer. Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to completely decode an extreme mindset. We're moving way past those surface-level cliché ideas of just, pushing through suffering. Instead, we're going to unpack the brilliant underlying psychological frameworks that are used to build ultimate, unbreakable resilience. So, if you've ever felt like your own mind is secretly working against you the second things get difficult, well, you are in the exact right place. Let's dive in.
We really have to start things off with a pretty terrifying question. Are you living at a mere fraction of your true potential simply because you think trying hard is enough? It's a chilling thought, right? We're starting here because biologically, our baseline minds naturally seek out comfort. Our brains are literally hardwired for survival, which usually translates to taking the path of least resistance. We tend to think that giving it a decent effort, just trying hard, means we've hit our absolute ceiling. But the reality? That's often just a biological lie designed to keep you safe and comfortable. And today, we're looking at exactly how you can break free from that illusion.
All right, Section 1, Isolation and the Governor, the ultimate internal weapon.
Look, during life's absolute hardest moments, whether that's facing deep depression, unimaginable grief, or just those really dark, quiet hours in the night, you are completely alone with your own brain. You cannot simply Google a way out of profound suffering. And that brings us to our first core concept: internal sovereignty. This is the absolute necessity of dictating to your brain exactly where you want to go and exactly how you're going to get there. If you don't actively take control and literally boss your mind around, it's over. Your brain will default to controlling you. It'll pull you into these kind of pockets of comfort, distractions, excuses, lethargy, or even worse, pockets of deep despair. You absolutely have to be the sovereign ruler of your own internal state.
Now here is where it gets wild. 40%. There's this fascinating neurological mechanism at play called the governor reflex. Think of it like a governor on a sports car that artificially limits the top speed so the engine doesn't blow out, right? Well, humans have a similar protective mechanism. When you feel completely physically and mentally tapped out, when your brain is literally screaming at you to stop, you are typically only at about 40% of your true capacity. Your brain is tricking your body into feeling exhausted just to protect you from perceived danger. So recalibrating that internal sensor, that is the absolute secret to extreme resilience. Moving on to Section 2, the brutality of repetition, forcing the brain to adapt.
So how on earth do we actually override that 40% limit? We do it by forcing the brain to realize that quitting just isn't an option, and we use the absolute brutality of repetition to do it. The process goes exactly like this. Step 1, you fail. Maybe you're failing to memorize a complex paragraph for a crucial military test, or maybe you're negatively buoyant and literally sinking to the bottom of the pool while trying to learn how to swim. Step 2 is where the magic happens. You give yourself absolutely no way out, and you go immediately back to the task. You don't take a break. You don't say, I'll try again tomorrow. The alarm goes off, and you go back. Step 3, your mind gets cornered. When your brain finally realizes it cannot escape the situation, it shifts out of panic mode. It literally has no biological choice but to upgrade, adapt, and overcome the obstacle, rather than wasting energy resisting it.
Section 3, the crucible, redefining the new norm.
To actually recalibrate our reality, we have to adopt an intense mindset. It's like saying, I became the boss, the owner, the CEO of Navy SEAL training. The concept here is that by willingly immersing yourself in hell, in the absolute worst conditions imaginable, you stop searching for an exit. You stop wishing you were somewhere else. You actually become the owner of that environment. When you accept that being broken, exhausted, and miserable is just the way things are now, your mind stops fighting the reality, and it starts getting incredibly tough.
Think about the real difference between voluntary hardship and involuntary hardship, because this uncovers the hidden science behind the strategy. When you intentionally choose voluntary hardship, like accepting a miserable $7 a month room to live in, or duct taping stress fractures so you can just keep running and making that your new norm, you're intentionally putting your brain under stress. What you are actually doing is training and strengthening your prefrontal cortex. You are callousing your mind. So later on, when uncontrolled involuntary hardships hit you out of nowhere, like sudden grief, losing your job, or disease, your brain is already primed. Navigating real-life tragedies becomes entirely different because your standard operating procedure is already built to handle being broken.
All right, Section 4, weaponizing disadvantage, harnessing sympathetic power.
Now, how does being at a massive disadvantage, literally being broken, actually become your greatest source of energy? Well, it works by tapping directly into your biology. Imagine it's 3:30 in the morning. You're sitting there alone. You are literally duct taping your broken feet to endure arguably the hardest military training in the world. Everyone around you is healthy and you are broken. But if you shift your perspective to say, I am broken and I am still right here fighting, you tap into your sympathetic nervous system's fight or flight response. The pure, desperate necessity of survival kicks in. All that superficial anger just fades away because your brain is focused entirely on winning right here, right now. This provides a raw, primal charge of energy that healthy, comfortable competitors simply do not have access to. You literally weaponize the fact that you are suffering.
And it's honestly fascinating how the science backs up why this feels so powerful. We call it the dopamine of the pursuit. See, we usually think of dopamine as that quick reward we get when we finally cross the finish line. But neurochemistry actually shows us that your brain releases dopamine during the active, painful pursuit of a highly difficult task. It's an incredible paradox. Your brain is actively rewarding the act of overcoming misery in real time. It shifts you from a state of total despair into an aggressive state of forward-moving power. And that perfectly explains that sudden feeling of absolute invincibility in those dark 3:30 a.m. moments.
Section 5. Reaching the core. Uncovering the soul's mineral soil.
Here's the thing though, raw, aggressive power is only going to take you so far. Eventually, you have to find something way deeper. Once you strip away the anger, the desire to prove other people wrong, and all those other superficial motivations, you are forced to dig into what actually sustains a human being over the long haul. You have to drill down until you hit what is called mineral soil. Think about it. You can't burn dirt. The mineral soil is the absolute bedrock of your character. It's the core of your soul where external circumstances, haters, and fires simply cannot touch you. And how do you find it? It is found solely through extreme, daily accountability. It's found by looking in the mirror every single day, judging your actions against your own ultimate standards, and cultivating a flat-out refusal to be disappointed in yourself anymore.
And finally, Section 6, Conclusion and Synthesis, Escaping Your Shadow Self.
To pull all of this together, we have to confront the ultimate antagonist in this whole journey, the terrifying fear of your own untapped potential. The real enemy isn't the environment, and it's not other people. It is your own shadow self. Just imagine the sheer horror of this contrast. On one hand, you have trying hard, working as a 297-pound exterminator spraying cockroaches for $1,000 a month and genuinely, falsely believing that this is 100% of your potential just because life feels difficult. And on the other hand, you have being obsessed, losing 106 pounds, graduating Navy SEAL training, and discovering a universe of capability inside your own mind that you literally never knew existed. The scariest thing in the world is the possibility that you could live your entire life comfortably numb, thinking you did your best, without ever unlocking what you're truly capable of.
Look, everybody wants peace, right? But almost everyone is looking for it in the completely wrong place. True peace is not found at the beginning of the journey, wrapped in comfort and avoidance. You can't just ask for peace first. Peace only exists on the complete opposite end of severe trials, tribulations, and suffering. You only earn the right to truly find yourself and achieve genuine peace after you've willingly walked through the daily, miserable fire of extreme accountability.
I want to leave you with this one final, provocative thought for this explainer. We've established that your brain is the ultimate weapon. It is far more powerful than any external tool or technology out there. You have sovereignty over it, you have the ability to break past that 40% governor, and you have that mineral soil deep down within you just waiting to be uncovered. But absolutely none of that matters without action. Are you willing to stop just trying hard, step fully into the crucible of your own mind, and finally meet the person you are actually meant to become? The choice is entirely yours. Keep learning, keep pushing, and I'll see you in the next explainer.